Hi everyone. Welcome back to our channel. I'm John.
And I'm Emily. We're so excited to have you here today. If you're looking to improve your English speaking skills, you've come to the right place.
Absolutely. In today's podcast, we're going to share 3 powerful exercises that can help you boost your English speaking abilities. Whether you're a beginner or advanced learner, these tips will make a big difference in your fluency.
These exercises are easy to follow and can be practiced from the comfort of your own home. We'll guide you through each step, ensuring you know exactly how to apply these techniques to your daily routine. So let's dive right in.
The first exercise we'll dive into is the shadowing technique. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's one of the most effective methods to improve your pronunciation, intonation, and overall fluency in English.
Shadowing is an incredibly straightforward exercise, but don't let its simplicity fool you. It's also one of the most powerful tools you can use to train your ear and mouth to speak English more naturally. The concept is simple. Listen to a native speaker and try to imitate exactly what they say, as closely as possible.
Let's break it down further. Start by selecting a short audio or video clip featuring native English speakers. It could be a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a scene from a TV show or movie. The key is to choose something that's not too fast and uses clear, standard English.
Once you've selected your clip, listen to a short segment, just a few sentences at a time. Pause the clip and immediately repeat what the speaker said. Your goal is to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation as closely as possible. Try to mimic the way they stress certain words and the pauses they take. This might feel awkward at first, but it's a crucial part of the learning process.
One of the biggest benefits of shadowing is that it forces you to listen very carefully to the way English is spoken. It's not just about understanding the words, it's about catching the nuances of how those words are delivered. Over time, you'll start to internalize these patterns, which will help you sound more natural when you speak.
For beginners, I recommend starting with slower speeches or dialogues. You might find it helpful to use content that's specifically designed for English learners, as these usually have clearer pronunciation and slower pacing. As you become more comfortable, you can challenge yourself with faster and more complex material, like news broadcasts or native-level podcasts.
And don't just stop at repeating the sentences. After shadowing a segment a few times, try to say the sentences on your own, without listening to the clip first. This will help reinforce what you've learned and ensure you're not just parroting the sounds but actually understanding how to use them.
Another tip is to use a mirror while shadowing. Watching yourself speak can help you identify any physical aspects of pronunciation you might be struggling with, like the shape of your mouth or the position of your tongue. It's a great way to fine-tune your pronunciation.
Consistency is key with shadowing. To see real improvement, try to dedicate at least 15 to 20 minutes a day to this exercise. It might not seem like much, but over time, these small daily efforts will add up to significant progress.
And remember, shadowing is not just about pronunciation. It's also an excellent way to build your listening skills and expand your vocabulary. By exposing yourself to a variety of accents, speaking styles, and topics, you'll become a more versatile and confident English speaker.
Finally, don't be discouraged if you don't sound perfect right away. Like any skill, improving your English speaking takes time and practice. The important thing is to keep at it and not to be afraid of making mistakes. Every time you shadow, you're getting a little bit closer to your goal of fluency.
So, give the shadowing technique a try. It's a simple, effective, and flexible exercise that you can do anytime, anywhere. And the best part? It's fun. You'll find yourself getting more and more engaged as you notice your progress. Let's move on to our next exercise.
Now let's talk about our second exercise, describing your day. This is a fantastic way to practice thinking and speaking in English, and the best part is, you don't need any special tools or materials, just your imagination and a bit of time.
Describing your day is not only simple, but also incredibly versatile. The idea is to take a few minutes at the end of each day to narrate what you did in English. This could be as straightforward or as detailed as you want, depending on your level and how much time you have.
Here's how to start. At the end of your day, sit down and think about everything you did from the moment you woke up until now. Try to go through your day chronologically, recalling as many details as possible. Then begin describing these activities in English.
If you're a beginner, you might start with simple sentences like, I woke up at 7 a.m., or I had cereal for breakfast. As you get more comfortable, Start adding more details and complexity to your descriptions. For instance, instead of just saying, I went to work, you could say, I took the bus to work and spent the morning preparing for a meeting with my manager.
This exercise is particularly effective because it encourages you to use past tenses, which are essential in English. It also helps you practice commonly used vocabulary and phrases. Plus, by describing your own experiences, the language becomes more relevant and personal to you, making it easier to remember.
To make the most out of this exercise, try to incorporate new vocabulary and expressions that you've learned recently. For example, if you learned the phrase to catch up on work, you could say, in the afternoon, I caught up on work that I missed last week. This not only reinforces the new language, but also helps you integrate it into your active vocabulary.
Another way to enhance this exercise is by recording yourself. Use your phone or a voice recorder to capture your descriptions. This allows you to play back your recordings and listen to how you sound. It's a great way to identify areas where you can improve, such as pronunciation, grammar, or fluency.
And if you're up for a challenge, try describing your day in different tenses. For example, you could describe what you did today in the present perfect tense, or what you're going to do tomorrow using the future tense. This adds variety to your practice and helps you get comfortable with different grammatical structures.
Another approach is to focus on different aspects of your day each time you do this exercise. One day you might concentrate on describing your morning routine, while another day, you could focus on a particular event or interaction you had. This keeps the exercise interesting and ensures you're practicing a wide range of vocabulary and expressions.
And if you ever feel stuck, don't worry. You can use prompts or questions to guide your descriptions. For example, you could ask yourself, what did I do first today? Or, how did I feel during my meeting? These questions can help jog your memory and get you talking.
The beauty of this exercise is its flexibility. You can do it in a journal, out loud, or even in your head as you go about your day. The important thing is to make it a regular habit. The more you practice, the easier it will become to think and speak in English.
Over time, you'll notice that describing your day becomes second nature. You'll find yourself thinking in English more often, which is a huge step towards fluency. Plus, it's a great way to reflect on your day and recognize your progress, both in life and in language learning.
So, make it a daily routine to describe your day in English. It's a simple yet powerful exercise that will help you build your vocabulary, improve your grammar, and gain confidence in your speaking abilities. Let's move on to our final exercise. Our third exercise is one of the most interactive and enjoyable ways to practice speaking: role-playing scenarios. This method allows you to put yourself in various situations where you need to use English, helping you prepare for real-life conversations.
Role-playing is a dynamic and engaging way to practice. It involves pretending to be in different scenarios where you need to speak English, such as ordering food at a restaurant, checking into a hotel, or even having a business meeting. This exercise is great because it simulates real-world conversations, giving you a safe space to practice without the pressure of an actual interaction.
Let's break it down. First, choose a scenario that you might encounter in everyday life. For example, let's say you're practicing for a trip to an English-speaking country. You might choose a scenario where you need to ask for directions, buy a ticket at a train station, or order a meal at a restaurant.
Once you've chosen your scenario, think about the typical conversation that might take place. What phrases and vocabulary are commonly used in that situation? You might want to write down a few key sentences or questions to guide your practice.
Now, if you have a language partner or a friend who's also learning English, you can practice these scenarios together. One of you can take on the role of the customer, traveler, or client, while the other plays the role of the server, receptionist, or sales clerk. Take turns practicing different roles to get a well-rounded experience.
And if you're practicing alone, don't worry. You can still do role-playing by imagining both sides of the conversation. You could even use scripts or dialogue examples that you find online or in textbooks. For instance, you could find a script for ordering coffee at a cafe and practice both the customer's and the barista's lines.
To make the role-playing more effective, try to really get into character. Imagine the setting, the people around you, and the context of the conversation. The more realistic you make it, the better you'll be prepared for the real thing.
Another great aspect of role-playing is that it helps you practice not just the words you use, but also your tone, body language, and the natural flow of conversation. It's about more than just saying the right words. It's about communicating effectively and confidently.
A tip for making your role-playing sessions even more beneficial is to focus on different types of scenarios each time you practice. For instance, one day you might practice a casual conversation like chatting with a friend, and another day you might try a more formal situation, like a job interview or a presentation.
Also, don't be afraid to experiment with different responses or reactions. In real life, conversations can be unpredictable, so it's good to practice how you might handle different situations. For example, what would you say if the person you're talking to asks you a question you didn't expect? Or if they speak very quickly or use unfamiliar vocabulary?
This exercise is also a great way to build your cultural understanding. Different cultures have different ways of communicating, and role-playing can help you become more aware of these differences. For example, how you greet someone in a business setting might be different in English-speaking countries than in your own.
And if you're feeling adventurous, you can even try role-playing in different English accents or dialects. This can be a fun way to challenge yourself and improve your listening and speaking skills at the same time.
Just like with the other exercises we've discussed, consistency is key. Try to incorporate role-playing into your practice routine regularly. It's an engaging way to reinforce what you've learned and gain confidence in your ability to communicate in English.
Over time, you'll find that these role-playing scenarios start to feel more natural, and you'll be better prepared for real-life conversations. Whether you're traveling, working, or just meeting new people, you'll have the language skills you need to navigate different situations with ease.
So don't be shy, start role-playing today. It's a fun, interactive, and highly effective way to improve your English speaking skills. Let's wrap up with some additional tips to help you on your language learning journey.
Before we wrap up, we want to share a few extra tips that can help you improve your English speaking even more. These tips are designed to complement the exercises we've discussed and give you a well-rounded approach to language learning.
First, try to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Immersion is one of the most effective ways to learn a language because it surrounds you with the sounds, rhythms, and structures of English. The more you hear and use the language, the more familiar it will become.
There are many ways to immerse yourself in English, even if you're not living in an English-speaking country. For example, you can listen to English music, watch movies or TV shows in English, and read books or articles in English. Try to choose content that you enjoy so that it doesn't feel like a chore.
Another great immersion technique is to change the language settings on your devices to English. This way, you're constantly exposed to English throughout your day, whether you're checking your phone, using apps, or browsing the internet.
Also, don't be afraid to speak English as often as you can. Practice with friends, family, or even strangers. The more you use the language, the more confident you'll become. If you don't have anyone to practice with, consider joining language exchange groups or online communities where you can connect with other learners and native speakers.
Another tip is to keep a vocabulary journal. Write down new words and phrases that you come across, and try to use them in your speaking practice. A vocabulary journal is a great way to track your progress and ensure you're actively expanding your language skills.
In addition to writing down new words, make an effort to use them in context. For example, if you learn the word negotiate, try to incorporate it into a sentence like, I had to negotiate the price of my car. Using new vocabulary in sentences helps reinforce your understanding and makes it easier to remember.
Another helpful tip is to set specific goals for your English speaking practice. For instance, you might aim to learn 10 new vocabulary words each week or to have a 5-minute conversation in English every day. Setting goals gives you something to work towards and helps you stay motivated.
And don't forget to be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time and effort, and it's normal to make mistakes along the way. The important thing is to keep practicing and not to get discouraged. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve.
It's also important to celebrate your progress. Take note of the milestones you reach, whether it's understanding a new word, completing a conversation in English, or simply feeling more confident when you speak. Acknowledging your achievements will help you stay motivated and keep pushing forward.
Finally, consider seeking feedback from others. Whether it's from a teacher, a language partner, or even a friend, feedback can be incredibly valuable in helping you identify areas where you can improve and build on your strengths.
And remember, learning a language is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process, stay curious, and keep exploring new ways to practice and improve your English speaking skills. We hope you found these exercises and tips helpful. Remember, the key to improving your English speaking skills is to practice regularly and stay motivated.
That's right. Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Keep practicing, and over time, you'll notice your English speaking becoming more fluent and natural.
If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and exercises to help you improve your English.
And let us know in the comments which exercise you found most helpful, or if you have any other tips to share with our community.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.